Take a live look as the chance of severe weather blows across our area. Those flags are really whipping right now out in Burlington. Already this storm has produced a tornado warning today, so it is important to stay ahead of the weather. If you look right over there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, right here, we have a QR code. Snapping a picture of that will send your phone a link for downloading our WFMY News 2 app. It is a good tool to have because even if the storm passes over you right now, history shows most of our state is at risk of a direct strike at some point. In the past decade, 82 of North Carolina's 100 counties have been hit by a tornado. And since the Weather Service started keeping records, North Carolina has had 13 tornadoes that killed 4 or more people, including one in 1936 that was a direct hit on Greensboro, ripping across more than 300 buildings, killing 14 people, injuring 144 more. More recently, you'll remember Wilkes County saw tornadoes last summer. You can see the funnel cloud there on your left moving across the community. And in Greensboro, a deadly storm ripped through our city in 2018. These videos show the tornado in different parts of Greensboro. The city still hasn't fully repaired all the buildings that were damaged during that storm. You always need a weather plan, and earlier this week we saw a driver that got stuck in a tornado in Texas, the same system that's in the Triad right now. Fortunately, they got dropped back down to the ground and could drive away like nothing happened, but not everyone gets so lucky, so it's important to prepare.
It helps to eliminate some of the panic that people can inevitably feel during an emergency. So if you already kind of know your game plan, then that can help you feel like you've got a little bit more control and a little bit more calm in that situation.
If you're in the house when a tornado warning hits, take a look at this chart from our weather team. The big takeaway is that you want to be on the lowest level possible and in a room with the least windows.
One thing you can take in there with you is maybe a pillow or a jacket or a blanket that you can put over your head to protect yourself from flying debris, but we really want you to be interior, away from doors and windows.
Take a look at that chart again. Right there in big red writing, you see it says outside, not safe. So what do you do if you are already stuck outside during a tornado? Well, the Red Cross says you should try to find shelter as soon as possible. Don't go into bridges or overpasses like you might have heard. They can actually get higher winds and are dangerous spots. And if you're far away from any possible shelter and there's already debris flying around, park your car, keep your seatbelt on, and duck your head below any windows until it passes. Let's take another look at Burlington. We want to keep checking back in here because this area is right in the line of the storm. Our weather team says even though the roads look fine there now, one big concern today is possibly some flooding on the roads. Here's how you prepare for that. Flooded roads might look passable, but let this soak in. The Greensboro Fire Department says just 6 inches of water can stall your car and cause you to lose control. A foot of water can cause a small car to float, and 2 feet can wash away most vehicles. Rescue crews say if you see water on the road and you're not sure how high it is, don't chance it.
We'll never try to drive through that moving water, and that's what we see a lot of. Never try to walk through moving water. Never try to swim through moving water.
But if you do find yourself stuck,
the first thing you want to do is try to back up, and you want to go in reverse and get out of that water. If there's no way to do that, we want you to stay where you're at.
That's when you need to call 911 for help.
If the water starts to come inside of the vehicle and it's rising at a level where you can't get out, what we're telling our residents is we want you to get out of the vehicle and get onto the roof of the vehicle.
No, you're not just putting your own safety at risk. Philip Huffman with AAA Carolinas says the most common damage he finds in cars after storms comes from driving in flooded areas.
We misjudge the water. So everything looks wet, but if there is enough water there to actually hydroplane the car, there's enough water there to do damage under the car.
If your engine gets flooded, that can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. Here's something else that can be costly and a huge headache from the storm. If all of your important paperwork goes missing, Protecting that is something too many of us have put off, but FEMA says you really should make copies of all your key documents. This includes records like driver's licenses and social security cards, anything crucial to identifying you. FEMA says you should have backups for things like insurance policies too, financial records, and property records. You can also consider putting all of that stuff in waterproof containers before the storm, or even making copies of them to store at a safe deposit box at your bank. If a storm hits your house, there's a lot of stuff to replace. Any TVs you have, computers, fancy clothes you might own. Remembering all of that can be pretty hard. That is why Consumer Report says you should flip around your camera and just do this. Go all the way around your house.
It doesn't have to be complicated. You can even use the camera on your phone.
Sounds easy, right? Just hit record, then describe everything you have in closets, cabinets, drawers, anything you'd want to replace. That means books, paintings, major appliances.
Samsung stainless steel refrigerator.
Take note of brand names and serial numbers so your insurer can replace what you have with exact or similar items.
Focus on what's valuable. You can skip the cleaning supplies in a closet, for instance. An insurance adjuster is likely to create a bulk estimate for those things anyway.
From there, upload your video online, email it to yourself and your insurance agent so you'll both have it saved. Now it's also a good time to break out that insurance policy and make sure you actually have enough coverage for all those big ticket items. You might need additional riders for things like firearms, jewelry, and collectibles. On the WFMU News 2 YouTube page, you can find an extended conversation with our insurance experts about how to make sure your home is fully covered for that best price that we all want. Here's another live look at High Point right now. You can see sun's starting to come out there, but by now I hope you've been able to snap a picture of that QR code and get the WFMU News 2 app. It's important though to make sure you also have those alerts on the app turned on. Open the app, click on the 3 bars in the top left, go to Settings, then make sure you have all your notifications on. Then double check your phone has notifications on. Go to the Settings app, go to the Notifications tab, scroll down to Our app, and make sure you have that notification tab on. Whew, I know that was fast. If you want to see it again, we put that step-by-step guide up with that QR code. Plus, you can always get the latest radar on our website to see when the rain will be over in your neighborhood.